Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
It is yet another beautiful day in paradise here inside the SWBC podcast studio at the Star in Frisco. This is Mick Shots. If we can get Mickey and Everson off their phones and focus on the task at hand, we will start Steelers Week here.
Steelers Week.
Nate in Frisco was checking to see if he needed to come out of the bullpen again.
No, we're good, Nate. Thank you, sir.
All right.
We don't need any replacements.
It's the return of Everson Walls, and despite what happened at the Cotton Bowl on Saturday night, he still has his Grambling football shirt on.
That's right, baby.
Proudly displaying the colors. What happened?
5 overtimes.
5 overtime game against Prairie View
Panthers.
Okay.
Our rivalry in the SWAC conference, and my dad went to Prairie View.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So there's a rivalry in the Walls family, too.
That's right. Bayou Classic, I got to worry about Southern.
Uh-huh.
You know, when it comes to the Southwest Classic, I have to worry about Prairie View.
Okay.
So I'm representing very well, but we lost in 5 overtimes on Saturday night.
Were you ready to rush the field if you won?
No, I was not. No, I was not. I was not rushing anything. As a matter of fact, I think I might have missed 2 overtimes myself talking trash to somebody, you know, in the stands. So, no,
who won? More importantly, who won the battle of the bands at halftime?
Oh, come on, man, Grandpa. Always,
Yeah.
always.
There you go.
Always.
There you go.
Even my dad would agree on that. God bless his soul.
Yeah. Well, here we are, and I've done a lot of research on the Pittsburgh Steelers this morning.
Have you?
Getting ready for the week.
Okay.
And, you know, it's not often we get this matchup. It just comes once every 4 years, basically. Could happen more often with the 17th game now, but it's not happening this year in the 17th game. It's because the Cowboys and the NFC East are playing the AFC North, and so they met in 2020 and they met in 2016, and Dak Prescott's only faced him one time, and we had some footage of Dak Prescott shaking hands with Mike Tomlin after the game, after a Cowboys victory at Pittsburgh, his rookie season. And it was amazing to see how young
really
Dak
was.
Prescott really
And Zeke.
8 years ago.
Yes.
But it's good. Fun week with Sunday Night Football. There's a reason these two franchises are on Sunday Night Football this week.
That's a throwback. That's going way back, brothers.
All their Super Bowl meetings.
That's right, going back to the 70s and also in the 90s.
What was it, 3, 4?
4 for Pittsburgh.
No, I meant
four they won,
they-
yes.
they
And
met.
they met in the 70s.
Yes, twice.
right? 75,
Right.
78,
78, and then
And
the
90.
victory in Super Bowl 30.
95. So
That's right.
3.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
wasn't.
We also,
You were still a part of the
Yeah,
organization
yeah.
just as an alumni then,
Right, that's true. That's true.
he was officially alumni by 95.
That's right.
In 75, geez, I was a fan.
In
think I was
78,
even-
you were too.
In 75, I don't think I was even playing sports.
Really?
No.
What do you
You
mean?
didn't play sports until your
I kept getting in
junior
trouble.
year in high school?
Well, I tried out.
You played
I
other.
had
You
a
played
bad
basketball,
attitude. I
right?
had a bad, well, yeah, definitely got kicked off the basketball team
You played baseball.
more than once. No, I didn't play baseball.
You talked about what great center fielder you were. That was just
Okay.
pick up games in Hamilton Park?
No, I said that in Little League.
Okay. So you did play sports before, except you don't consider Little League sports to be sports.
Well, I
You didn't play
consider it just part
varsity
of my
sports until-
development. I didn't
Yeah,
think of it in
okay.
regards
All right.
to
Okay.
being a winner versus, knowing the.
That's right. They didn't keep score.
They kept score, but
You didn't know what the
When
score
we're
was.
at that age-
That was before you kept score.
at that age, the truth tends to be very flexible at 15 years old.
But anyway,
So we got visual evidence yesterday of the Cowboys' injury situation.
Yes, we did.
And it's not a good thing
He was rolling on a scooter.
to see two guys rolling on a scooter with a boot on, right? So
I wouldn't even want that thing.
So the DeMarcus Lawrence is heading to injured reserve, which will open up a spot on the 53-man roster. And they were in the midst of scouring other teams' practice squads to maybe poach somebody.
Okay, we might have a report on that by 3 o'clock this afternoon,
Or
maybe?
probably by 12:48.
Whenever we
get it.
Of course.
As soon as we finish. And so they'll open up a roster spot and then probably try to find some. I mean, they need numbers, defensive ends, because the only defensive end on the practice squad is Carl Lawson. He has one more elevation. We'll see how he does.
I predict that the Cowboys will probably sign K.J. Henry to a 2-year deal off the Bengals practice squad.
It's already out there.
I'll just predict that. I really think that the guy they ought to go for.
He came up with it first.
I'm just saying that I just think that the guy that they probably should go for is I think there's a guy on the Cincinnati practice squad, a guy named K.J. Henry. And in fact, if I were going to do it, I think I would go ahead and sign him to a 2-year contract, and I think he would be the answer to the problems.
So it's already
here.
been reported that they signed him to.
Well, let me check. Let me check and see if there's any reports out there about it. But
Yeah, right.
KJ Henry's the guy that I have my eye on.
Stealing.
Yeah.
He's stealing.
Oh,
that is theft
Jeremy
right there.
Fowler of ESPN is there. It is signing pass rusher KJ Henry to a 2-year deal on the active roster off the Bengals practice squad. Per sources,
that is theft. I'm sorry.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Bill Jones.
I was just saying that's the guy I would go after.
Stay
It's
my
amazing
beating heart,
just how
right?
this turned out.
The guy's on a practice squad. Well, he'll save the day.
Actually, I had someone else yesterday that I told Mickey that's the guy that I would go after.
And they
but this
did not
guy,
go after.
yeah, but I can't say who that person was.
Well, the problem is with Micah Parsons, of course, you're thinking about 2 different positions almost. You're having to sign someone. You're not going to sign another Micah Parsons off a practice squad. So it's almost like you got to sign 2 people. I don't know. You got to bring in someone that can be steady at defensive end. And then also we need someone that can rush the pass on 3rd down.
Well, what they're probably looking for is that rush the passer on 3rd down.
Okay.
Because they'll fulfill the regular down spots with Marshawn Nealon on one side.
Who's playing pretty well, by the way.
Yeah, and Chauncey Golston on the other.
Okay.
I don't know that they
I
look
forgot
at
all about
him.
Chauncey, man.
See, and the problem was a lot of the snaps that Nealon was getting, they were moving them inside on the nickel to be a pass rusher, 3rd down nickel situations. But now, if he's outside, you kind of lose that ability to move him inside. And I don't know that they have another big pass rusher they can move inside.
Well, you got to like K.J. Henry. He played for Brent Venables at Clemson. So.
Oh, well, okay.
So we must like him?
You've got to like him. Because if he comes from that Brent Venables school of defensive
what's
football.
his history?
I'm
assuming you got it there.
I have it right here, and let's give you some details on K.J. Henry, 6'4", 255 pounds, out of Clemson. And he was a 5th-round draft pick last year of the Washington Commanders, and with Cincinnati on the practice squad this year. So he was at Washington. Let me check on this. Did Quinn cut him this year? He was released as part of the final cuts with the Washington Commanders this year. So in August, a month ago, Dan Quinn cut him. He was claimed off waivers by the Bengals, waived on September 17th, and re-signed to the Cincinnati practice squad. So he has been on. He was on the Bengals active roster the first week of the season, maybe the first 2 weeks. September 17th, he was waived and re-signed to the practice squad. And pre-draft measurables, 6'4" and a quarter, 251 pounds, with 33-inch arms and 10-inch hands like Everson Walls.
Sounds like me.
4'6", 40, and the other measurables are.
And how many games did he play last year for Washington?
Well,
that's not bad. 40-yard dash.
Yep, 4.63.
Not bad at all.
Because he obviously
his 20-yard shot, his cone drill was not great, but that could be because he didn't.
How many tackles did he have last year?
Well, I've got to look up his stats now, and so.
Well, that's not part of that big.
No, he had 19 tackles last year. He had 10 games, 3 starts with Washington last year, 19 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits, 1.5 sacks last year in limited time. Let's see how many snaps he had. 282 snaps on defense last year. 11 snaps this year on defense in 2 games with Cincinnati. K.J. Henry reportedly headed this way.
So he got beat out by Dante Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong.
Okay.
In Washington. Why he got cut.
Well, what you do on that is you follow the money. They're not going to cut Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler after spending money on guaranteed money on them.
They spent the money on them, though.
So what happened, I think, with K.J. Henry is they probably wanted to get him to the practice squad.
And didn't make it.
And he didn't make it. He got signed by Cincinnati, and then it becomes a...
Well, at least it's a body that's been practicing and actually played, right? There's no ramp up there.
And so they looked at the landscape of all the practice squads in the league, and this is the guy they either wanted or could. Of course, guys on practice squads also have their option of signing there or not.
Well, and the reason why they signed him to a 2-year deal is basically he's getting minimum, and so he gets 2 years in case you hit like Cavante Turpin. When the Cowboys picked him up, they signed him to a 3-year deal.
Okay.
And he's still on his original contract, even though he became a Pro Bowl kick returner. As his agent told me, I said, "How do you sign a 3-year deal?" He goes, "Well, no one else is knocking on your door. Whatever they offer you, you sign."
Everson, remind me.
Yes, sir.
Because I've missed you here in the last week or so.
I miss you too, William.
But were you here Friday?
Yes, I was here Friday.
So we did get your take on the Giants game.
Yes.
Okay. That's how memorable that take was for me.
After that game, I'm thinking, we got to win. This, it was something that we needed. I could have sworn we lost. I could have sworn that we lost.
The narrative after the game?
Man, it's amazing. My son and I talk about it all the time, just how unique we are as a team and how uniquely we're covered. No one's talking about Joe Burrows and how the Bengals are playing.
Wins are not valued.
When it comes to us.
Yeah, that's
when
what
it comes to us, wins are not
valued. And against the Giants.
Yeah, because
of
at
the
first I
domination
thought they said the Giants were pretty good.
That's right.
If I recall, there was some positive narrative out there about the Giants.
By the way, they had won the week before, and the week before that, they held Jaden Daniels from scoring a touchdown in that game, basically.
All they needed was a field goal kicker.
That's right.
That's all they needed.
Washington did not score a touchdown. This great Jaden Daniels, who's now the leading candidate to be the MVP in the league by some, he couldn't find the end zone against the Giants the week before. They had 7 field goals, and the only reason the Giants lost that game was their kicker pulled a hamstring on the opening kickoff of the game.
Opening kickoff.
Yeah, that's right. And so, but that wasn't a good win over the Giants.
Any win to me,
and this won't be a good win against. This won't be a good win over Pittsburgh either on Sunday night because the Steelers just lost.
But then also it's a divisional win.
Yep.
You got to go with that. You have to
on the road.
Anytime on the road. Thank you. Anytime that happens, I don't care what your team looks like. Divisional play is iffy at best.
It's iffy at best, and it's also important when it comes to the end of the season as far as tiebreakers are concerned.
Come on, man.
In fact, if you go back, you get to the end of the season, that loss to Baltimore is not nearly as bad as the loss to New Orleans.
That's right.
Because the New Orleans was a conference loss.
That's right.
Out of conference losses, they don't come back to bite you during tiebreaker season in January.
It's like George Bush said, man, you got to have strategery. You know, if you're gonna do this, you know, there's a method to the madness. We that was a way to win it, but the fact that we did win it on the road, that is something you just don't sneeze at. It's something that should be
on a short week on the road too.
Come on, man, all of that. You see, all of that. We got no credit for that. So, regardless, we know we never will, but I know that within the Cowboys camp, of course, yes, we still have work to do, but that win is a good win.
All right, Mickey. As we wrap up this first segment, I've got a lot I want to get to about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I listened to Mike Tomlin's press conference on the way in, and but is there something else that you would like to throw out there in this first segment?
Just the fact that, you know, Micah wasn't going to just, I can't play. It's like, if I can, I will. But it sounds like he can't. I mean, if you see that big old boot he's got on. The fact that he can't go, that lets you know it has to be something really serious. Because he ain't missing a game. Right. That's what because somebody told him, well, would it make sense that you miss the next one and then get the bye? And he goes, hey, you only get 17 of these. And he goes, if I can go, I'm going. I'm not looking at it like, well, the best thing to do would be to sit out again. I don't think they talked him out of it. I think he knew he could not go. Oh, he knew. There is no talking him out of it. I mean, he's on a scooter. Right. Kneeling down, scooting along like I did it when I tore my Achilles, right? And you were out how long? First of all, let's do this. Let's do this. Achilles is a little different than let's stop ankle. Comparing your injury to real athletes' injury. We're going to start doing that
Especially Micah Parsons.
Right? I'm not comparing. I'm just saying.
Every time somebody gets injured, you got to bring up your Achilles, man.
I know what it's like to be on that scooter.
It ain't the same.
I know what it's like to be on that scooter.
And yet, the game is Sunday night. And this is Tuesday. Right. So you got a lot of time. Huh?
You think he's going to play?
I would not count it out. And by the way,
that would be so great if
by the way, listening to Mike Tomlin, he's not counting it out either because he knows a little something about what Micah Parsons is made of.
I got you.
He's Parsons is a Mike Tomlin's type of player.
That's exactly right.
He's a Mike Tomlin's type
of player. All right,
and
when we come back here, let me ask you this. When was the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers had a losing season? Think about that. We'll have the answer for you when we come back on Mick Shots in just a moment.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says...
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Back to Mick Shots.
The schedule is set, and limited tickets for the 2024 Dallas Cowboys season at AT&T Stadium are available now. Don't miss your chance to see your Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium when they host the NFC East rival Eagles, Giants, and Commanders, plus the Ravens, Lions, Texans, Bengals, and Bucks. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
You see that copy there? Does it say Saints and Ravens?
Well,
you have a pen
in the read.
Yeah, in the read.
Yeah, it did.
Here's a pen. Go
It
ahead
had
and scratch those
it
two
had
out.
Everyone,
yeah,
yes.
Scratch out Saints and Ravens because those have already happened.
All righty. Thank you,
Don't
sir.
be buying those.
All right, and the next one is the Lions. And by the way, the Lions played last night on a doubleheader of Monday Night Football.
And a great game.
And Jared Goff was 18 for 18 in a Lions victory.
And he caught a touchdown.
And he caught a touchdown pass.
200
from Amon-Ra
since that
St. Brown.
happened.
That's the first time in his career, to answer your question. And the first time St. Brown has thrown a touchdown pass.
Which was an excellently timed pass. Thank you, sir. I am that dude. I am that guy.
He'll hang on to it.
Where'd this come from?
And Emerson's now giving me my pen back.
A guy throws 18 for 18, 292 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? And it's not even a perfect quarterback rating. 155.8. 158.3 is perfect.
Right.
So if he had completed one more pass for, say, 7 yards, it would have been perfect. Because if you add St. Brown's touchdown pass, going 1 for 1,
yes,
and his 7 yards, as a team, their quarterback rating was perfect.
Gotcha.
158.3.
So what's the standard? What do you have? You have to throw more passes?
It has to be a certain number of passes?
You have to get to 19 passes and be...
Well, it's passes
To me,
completed,
1 for 1 is a perfect game.
completed and yards. So the yards count.
Was he?
So if he had-
you got his stats in front
I
of
was
you?
going to say,
What was his yards
criteria
per
for the
attempt?
yards?
42-27 win. I'm
Dividing
calling it up right
292
now.
by 18.
Okay.
All right.
And
That's got to be plenty.
And it comes to...
You got it there?
No, I didn't write that part down.
Well, I got my calculator here. What were the numbers again? 292?
Yeah.
292 divided by 1/8 equals... Wait. That's can't... Wait.
Yep. You blew it.
Let me try that again.
Yeah, you blew it.
292 divided by 1/8. 16.2.
It's pretty good.
How is that not a perfect rating?
He needed more yards or another touchdown.
16.2 yards per attempt isn't good enough?
155.8.
That's twice what a 8.0 is a great yards per attempt in this league. And this was 16.2.
That's per attempt, not per completion.
Right,
So
per
at
attempt.
this time, it would
8.0
be
is a
both.
great yards per attempt.
I told you needed one more completion.
All right, there we've just
one more
exposed.
I don't know how they came up with that.
We've
formula.
exposed that
Yeah.
rating, the 158.3.
There's a formula that you punch in.
That's a ridiculous
attempts,
formula.
It is.
Completions, yards,
I'm sorry.
And touchdowns.
I'm sorry,
and
but
interceptions.
18 out of 18 for 292 yards, no picks, 2 touchdowns is a perfect passer rating. I'm sorry.
And he was surprised by it, by the way.
And he didn't get the game ball.
He got sacked 3 times.
He
Did sacks
that
factor
doesn't
in?
count. That doesn't count.
Hey, and he didn't get the game ball.
That's right.
He did not get the game ball.
Because Dan Campbell was not aware
he
that
didn't know it was
perfect.
He was perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, does he have to be perfect? See, nobody's giving him love. Does he have to be perfect to get the game ball?
No one's ever given Jared Goff love, right?
That's right.
he took a team to the Super Bowl. And still didn't get love.
Oh, man.
And got traded
because
for another quarterback who
Yes.
did take his team to the Super Bowl, and win it. So, all right, when was the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers had a losing record?
And I said during the break that I thought it was around 20 years.
You did
'cause
say
he's
that.
Trying to avoid, I thought they were trying to avoid a losing year maybe 2 years ago. And I thought they barely did, and I could be totally wrong about all of that.
Mickey, what was your retort to that?
That the Cowboys own the record for 20 consecutive winning seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me tell you this. That's the Cowboy record.
Yeah.
The key word there.
Not the NFL
winning seasons.
Yeah.
I said, when was the last time the Steelers had a losing record? So you factor in a 500 record is not a losing record.
True.
And so the Cowboys have the record for 20 years with winning records.
That's right.
From 1966 through 1985. The Steelers last year to have a losing record was 2003.
Wow.
Everson.
But when did they have an 800?
But several times they've had 500 records during that stretch.
Okay.
So
I think that's what I was referring to. I thought I remember them trying to avoid the first losing season in a while.
But the Cowboys did, and they did have one bump in the road in that 20-year span. The bump in the road was an 8-6 record in 1974, which is still a winning season, and so their record is still intact.
Well, if you want to count non-losing, then you can add 1965.
That's right. And so the Cowboys non-losing seasons, the Cowboys and the Steelers are at the Steelers currently are at 21 in a row. And the Cowboys had 21 in a row from 1965 through 85. They were 500 in 7-7 record in 65.
So I was right.
So yes, you were. Everson, ding, 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 ding. Everson wins the prize this week.
And you realize they would have stretched it through 86 if Danny White didn't break his wrist.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So over that 21-year period, the Cowboys had 215 wins and 86 losses. From 65 to 85, okay? The Steelers, over the last 21 years, 207 wins and 114 losses.
Oh, not even close.
No.
But what a testament to the Steelers organization to have put up that kind of a record.
Well, to do it in this area when there's a salary cap for the last 30 years.
And for those two teams to be so closely aligned, that just lets you know how, both organizations got to be respected from years back. Right.
And so you look at the Steelers. Bill Cowher was the coach when they last had a losing record in 2003. He then made it to the AFC Championship game in 2004 with a 15-1 record. And then won the Super Bowl in 2005 with an 11-5 record, went 8-8 in 2006, and then Tomlin took over in 2007. And Tomlin, his first year, 10-6, lost in the wild card. His second year, in 2008, they win the Super Bowl with a 12-4 record. And then, of course, 2 years after that, they lose in the Super Bowl to Mike McCarthy and the Packers after a 12-4 regular season.
Here.
Yeah, exactly right, at AT&T Stadium. Now, here's what's interesting, too, and you compare them with the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Since 2010, the Steelers have been to the playoffs 13 times, and no, I'm sorry, that's over the 21-year period. Over the 21-year period, the Steelers have been to the playoffs 13 times and won 8 division titles. Going back to the Cowboys during that time, their 21-year period, 18 playoff appearances and 13 division titles to compare those 2 decade eras. But since 2010, In the postseason, the Cowboys are 3-6. Okay. The Steelers are 3-9 in the postseason since 2010.
Well, I think the only
Well, go to 2009, you get the Cowboys another victory and a loss.
That's right.
Well, but the only thing that I see where you might have a little bit more stability in Pittsburgh is just the number of coaches.
That's right.
That would be the only thing.
Like 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cower and now Tomlin since 2007.
Right.
Which leads
so
me.
So you got Noel, right?
Yeah, Chuck Noll, Bill Cower, and then
Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin.
Man. In our lifetime.
Yeah.
And by the way, listening to Mike Tomlin driving in, it's not often that I will listen to a Mike Tomlin press conference. In fact, I listened to it in 2000 when the Cowboys played them that week, but
by
not
choice?
sure that
by
I did.
choice?
Just because the Cowboys were playing them that week,
Yeah.
I might have just listened to them. Or in 2006. Other than that, it was probably during Super Bowl week in 2010. Right. So my memory needed to be refreshed on Mike Tomlin. Man, he is an impressive guy.
Oh, he has been his whole career.
I mean, but you just listen to a press conference and you can understand why Mike Tomlin has had the success that he has had, and he has been the Steelers coach for so long.
Yeah.
Just the way he conducts the press conference, the way the knowledge, and his communication ability, and
that's what I like.
Being in charge of a situation. If he hears a question that he doesn't want to answer, he handles it with respect to the reporter, but at the same time, he doesn't want to go there, and so he'll
let them know.
And
he'll let them know.
Right.
Yeah. And he has no qualms about ruining whatever plans you have in asking the question, because this is my press conference.
That's right.
But he doesn't come out as a bully.
That's right.
He just comes out as the boss.
Yep.
And that's just the difference.
And he's like that in that room with the players, and very, very impressive guy.
Very impressive guy.
Yeah.
He spoke at, we had a Grambling Legends Awards, and Doug Williams and Shaq Harris, they have always tried to remember all of those old Grambling guys that you just forget about. I mean, when you're talking about integration and all that kind of stuff, a lot of guys get left out from the 60s and the 50s and things of that nature. We try to bring them back and their families. So we have a Grambling Legends event. He was the keynote speaker. I'd say that must have been about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. He was a keynote speaker. Very impressive. The fact that Doug and Shaq chose him to be the keynote for that event, it just lets you know what kind of respect he has, not just in college football, not just in the NFL, but for HBCUs as well. And he was not an HBCU coach. I think he was at William & Mary, right? Is that his?
You got me on that one.
Let me look him up.
How dare you, Spags, not know this information? You are the man, bro.
You know what? I was on the track to look him up and look at his background.
I think he was
here.
at William & Mary before he went to Pittsburgh. And, just the legacy it leaves behind is something to behold.
He went to college at William & Mary.
Okay.
1990 to 1994. 52 years old. And as a coach, he was, before Pittsburgh, he was a defensive coordinator with the Vikings in 2006.
Okay.
He was with the Buccaneers as the DB's coach 2001 through 2005. University of Cincinnati and Arkansas State before that. Arkansas State from 97, 98.
Talk about a journey.
So was he with Tony Dungy?
He would have been, when did Dungy, let me check on
was
when.
Dungy later than that?
Well, no, Dungy was, he would have been with Dungy and then Gruden as well, I think, right? Let me make sure on that. While I look that up, you can go ahead and.
Well, I was going to say, the one thing that was noticeable.
I guess we do need a break.
Do we need a break? Well, then let's do it.
All right. We'll be back and we'll have more
and I might have a read.
Mike Tomlin, and Everson will try to find something to talk about when we come back here on Mix Shots in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to Mick Shots.
Celebrate the best of the autumn season with Wrangler Fall Fest at the Star in Frisco. Join us on Saturday, October 19th for a day full of fall fun for the entire family. Enjoy live country music, hang out in the beer garden, and compete in Western-inspired games. Please capture fall photos ops, savor seasonal bites, and enjoy Wrangler shopping. Admission and parking is free. Visit thestardistrict.com for more info.
That's October 19th.
Got to ride a bull.
What? Did I say bull riding? Did I see that?
It said Western Games.
Yeah, well, I would imagine they mean like roping, maybe horseshoes.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the bye weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That is. So there's something for you to do on the bye week.
Yeah, that means you could ride the bull and then still heal if you get injured in time for next week.
There you go.
All right.
Don't have to put a boot on.
Mike Tomlin coached with Tony Dungy 1 year at Tampa Bay in 2001, and then Gruden took over in 2002.
Okay.
So he was 4 years with Gruden there.
So we talked yesterday about the Steelers' worries on their offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I saw today that the people covering the team have a worry about their wide receiver core because George Pickens is the dominant receiver.
Yes.
He's got 20 catches for 284 yards, which almost matches CD's 20 catches for 316. But their other three top receivers, Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin III, and Scotty Miller, only have in 4 games combined 14 catches for 192 yards, and 95 of those yards came by Austin in 1 game. So they were deducing that if they don't get these other guys going, like they didn't get going against Indianapolis in that loss, when those 3 guys only combined for 3 catches for 38 yards, they're going to struggle.
There's a reason that they were mentioned in the Brandon Ayuk stories leading up to Brandon Ayuk finally re-signing with the 49ers. Because there's a definite need for a wide receiver in Pittsburgh.
So obviously they brought up Tyreek Hill and one of the receivers at Jacksonville.
Okay.
So they were saying they need to make a trade. Everybody needs to make a trade. You got to have money to make a trade.
Mm-hmm.
And also, they've been off to slow starts in the four.
Well, that's because they don't have any wide receivers.
In the 4 first quarters of the 4 games they've played, they've only scored 10 points. And at one point in that loss to the Colts, I thought this was interesting. The Colts had 180 yards and Pittsburgh had 38 yards.
Wow. Well, they're like most teams. I think we're having a throwback moment here in the NFL, and nobody really wants to say it. The good teams have good defense and a running game. And that's a throwback. Everyone wants to live off your quarterback these days. But when it comes down to it, the Ravens themselves have shown us the proper way to play a game is to have a good quarterback and a good running back and a good defense. But you don't have to lean on your passing game consistently. Your running game has to be the catalyst for what you do. That's just the way it is these days. We're going right back to that, but no one wants to talk about it because quarterbacks get all the money.
Everson, I was talking about this yesterday. I was specifically talking about the way the Chiefs beat the Chargers in the fourth quarter on Sunday. It was a 10-10 game, and we all think about Patrick Mahomes. He can throw it all over the lot, whatever, but they won that game because they, even with backup running backs, one of whom they just signed that week, Kareem Hunt, they were able to run the football and wear down the Chargers and win that game 17-10 because of it.
No doubt.
And it wasn't because – now, Patrick Mahomes had a couple of completions in there, but they were able to do that because they were able to run the football.
That's what running the football does. It gives the quarterback a chance to make plays.
Last night, Detroit.
Yeah.
They ended up
well, they only had to throw 18 passes.
Right,
Yeah,
but
there
they
you go.
ran the ball 28 times for 116 yards. And the guy that led them was sort of the second running back, Jamar Gibbs, 14 for 78. So their ability to play action, run the ball, allowed them to win a game completing only 18 passes.
Well, I mean, when you look at it, even in the Cowboys and Giants, in the second half, we didn't score. We didn't do well. I'll put it like this. In the second half, offensively, we didn't do well. But what saved us was our defense kept them out of the end zone. That's just –
forced them to kick touchdowns.
Yeah, kick the field goals. What do you say?
The more you kick, the closer you are to losing.
And that's basically the formula for them.
And the Giants kicked 5 of them.
They kicked 5.
Another little note coming out of Mike Tomlin's press conference, which I'm sure they're going to be making a big deal of in Pittsburgh, is for the first time in several weeks, he made mention of the fact that Russell Wilson is ramping it up, coming off his injury, and that they're going to see what he can do in practice this week with, as he put it, a live pocket. Now, Justin Fields has played well here the last couple of weeks in particular, especially in the Chargers win. They were able to win 20-10 to get to 3-0, and then this past week was the first time he had to come from way behind. They fell behind 17-0, brought him back, made some mistakes, but also showed the ability to bring his team back to make it a 27-24
because
final.
his defense gave him many opportunities.
He threw for 312 yards.
Right.
Wow, that's nice.
I got to imagine that's got to be close to a career high for him. Had a quarterback rating of 104.
That's nice.
So, and then and he even led him in rushing with 55 yards.
Wow.
So Tomlin,
know that.
So Tomlin said that about Wilson, that so basically, if Russell Wilson were the only quarterback on that team, if Justin Fields wasn't there, I think Russell Wilson might be in a position where he could play this week. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, he hasn't done it on the practice field yet, but he's now a month into the season. And
what you're saying, they're happy not to need him.
And so Tomlin was asked, is Justin Fields? It was I couldn't really hear the question. It was in the background, listening to it on the radio, but he was asked, is Justin Fields getting to the point now where he's your quarterback and whatever Russell Wilson's injury status is immaterial to this? And he basically said, if he keeps playing well and keeps winning, So,
which quarterback would you rather face?
I'd rather face Russell Wilson. If I'm Pittsburgh, I'd like to stick with Justin Fields.
Somebody that won 3 out of 4 games for you?
Yeah. It'd be hard to just, because like Russell Wilson hadn't established himself as a Pittsburgh quarterback, so I don't owe him, a chance. I'm still going with the guy that's winning it for us, and I think the backup would have to understand that because he is a backup at this point.
Russell Wilson didn't play that poorly with Denver last year. I mean, you look, he had 26 touchdown passes and just 8 picks.
It was
last
definitely,
year.
They were still upset with him from the year before.
That's right. It was so bad the year before.
And then you've got Peyton coming in, and he wants to establish himself. And when things didn't go his way, the first thing he did was dumped on Russell. Right there on the sidelines.
I mean, they've won 3 games. They've only scored 6 touchdowns. And only once scored as many as 20 points in those 3 wins.
And that's the culture of the Steelers.
You know what? It's kind of interesting. Justin Fields has a chance. It's not the same as the Dak Romo in 2016,
right?
But it sort of is similar to it, where you've got an established quarterback in the league in Russell Wilson. Now he hasn't been established with Pittsburgh, but due to injury, Justin Fields has gotten this opportunity because had Russell Wilson not been hurt, Russell Wilson was going to be the starting quarterback to start the year. And Fields has a chance, if he keeps playing well and keeps winning, to keep the veteran on the bench.
Right.
Just like Dak did with Romo in 2016.
Romo was trying to get back. Boy.
Except Dak won 11 straight.
My back is fine. My back is fine, I promise.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm saying if Justin Fields is able to continue this and go 3-1 each month, the next couple of months, then he could be where Dak was. But Dak and the Cowboys have something to say about that Sunday night. All right, that was good. Now, Producer Supreme was not here today, and I know you could not tell because Jasmine did such a good job.
Yes,
Jasmine.
Absolutely.
In fact, who knows whether
Wally pipped or what?
Producer Supreme, who, by the way, is out umpiring kickball at AT&T Stadium, and he may be Wally pipped by Jasmine here. So,
and by the way, working, even though it's his birthday, is Douglas Barraclough.
Yes, Douglas Barraclough. Happy birthday to Douglas.
Putting in the work.
And behind the scenes here.
Work.
That's right. All right, very good.
We end on a high note.
And Everson's going to sing happy birthday to Douglas as we close it out here. All right, we will shout at you again tomorrow at high noon here on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,